At least 2 girls hiding in their classrooms at their primary school in Texas called 911 during the shooting that ended with 21 people killed. The actions of the officers involved now being highly scrutinised for their failure to act quickly.
Yeah, lawyer Michael Haggard, who representing the victims of the Parkland school shooting, joins us now from Miami, Florida. Thank you for joining us, sir. We can only imagine the grief and anger of the families hearing about what could have been done. It just beggars belief, doesn't it? Can they take action?
Well, I think they can. You know, as in the Parkland case, we had a situation where a sheriff's officer named Scott Peterson did not go into the building. He was a school security officer, and there were shots rang out. He knew what was going on. He didn't go in, and that's the last pending part of the legal action in the Parkland case. So I think there is going to be an action against the police for failing to act. But obviously, we have a bigger problem in the United States of America with the weapons being used by the gunmen.
You work with families who've been impacted by school shootings. What do you do? How do you help them?
Well, you know, I would often say there isn't a word in our language that describes when a parent loses a child. If somebody loses their spouse, they're a widow. If you lose your parents, you're an orphan. We don't have a word to describe the loss of a child. And I think it's because it's so unfathomable, something so hard to describe. And talking to a lot of my clients who've been through this, you know, and they're offering support to the parents in Uvalde, they say that it's just a process where you go down to the depths, and with support and other family members, somehow you come out of it on the other side and have a mission to try to make sure this does not happen again. But it does time and time again. So it's a dark place right now for those terribly impacted families.
Can families take action against the school for not keeping their students safe? And what can schools do to keep the students safe?
You know, they can. I mean, we've had this issue with the back door, but it's becoming an issue where, you know, you just can't. A good guy with a gun, the whole theory that in America, everybody says arm every teacher, arm every priest, arm every church. We've seen it doesn't work. I mean, you see not only in Parkland and Uvalde, but just 12 days ago now in Buffalo, they had a security guard who was a former police officer, which was up against another mass shooting terrorist with assault weapons with body armor on. And this former police officer had a pistol, did his best, and was gunned down, lost his life. So, you know, schools do need to be more fortified. We need to have better reactions to mass shootings. But at the end of the day, if you can take away the weapon of the bad guy, why not start there? And that's really what the United States has to do.
Well, exactly. I mean, one of the police spokesmen said yesterday, you know, we'll try and do better next time. You know, I mean, what's it going to take to stop these school massacres? Surely, as you say, the only real answer is real and proper and meaningful gun control, surely.
Well, we just have to look where you all sit. I mean, you went through this in Tasmania many years ago, and you acted within weeks of that. We had 20 school children in Sandy Hook be murdered 10 years ago from Uvalde. And the United States of America has done nothing, absolutely nothing in 10 years. And we've had almost to the person and to the age, the same terror befallen on these young kids. And it's unbelievable that there's a debate. Take assault weapons away, which the United States did under Bill Clinton. We saw a drastic decrease in mass shootings, and then we let that pass and under George W. Bush, and we've seen it skyrocketing again. We by far lead the world in mass shootings. It's not even close. We are the champion in that horrible statistic, and we should be embarrassed.
Michael, you mentioned before that you work with families who have been through the unthinkable, and what they try and do is stop this from ever happening again, and yet it happens time and time again. The families you worked with in Parkland, how do they feel when they see something like what happened in Uvalde?
They're absolutely re-traumatized again. Linda Beagle, who lost her son, he was a cross-country coach and a teacher. He stood in a doorway and saved countless lives as he took bullets on. She's actually passed laws in New York in the state legislature for better laws with regard to red flag laws and registering people and those things. Patricia Oliver, who lost her son, Guac, in Parkland, she's in Houston right now, toe-to-toe with the NRA. But when this happens again, even these champions, like they are, wonder if what they're doing makes a difference. And it is, we just don't see it. And we need much more people at the front lines fighting for us.
Michael, we appreciate your time this morning. It's hard for us to fathom here in Australia. We hope you have some steps towards positive change soon. Thank you.
Sir.